Awesome. Aloha. Welcome everyone to our continuing education this evening. I am super grateful that you're all still here with me. I was just saying 3 weeks in a row. I mean, this is big time. We're actually really showing up consistently. And I think consistency is something that a lot of people really lack. It's a good characteristic to cultivate. So grateful to be cultivating that with you today. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as always. Let's see, share screen and jump right into what I have prepared today. So, right. Oh, no. All right. Oh, now I'm at the end. Oh, you guys are going to see the whole thing. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Here we go. All right, beautiful. So week 3, toxin-free living. I'm sure all of you know by now that we are your living wellness coaches. I'm very grateful to have each of these individuals as a part of my living wellness team. And I have actually asked Kirsten to co-teach with me today. I'm super grateful to have her on here. We've been preparing together this week, right?
Yes.
And, really excited for them to get to know you a little bit better. And we're going to jump right into the content today. As I was considering what is important for you to understand, I want to teach you about the products I use, but before we jump into any of that, we have to really understand why this is important. What we're about to teach you today is probably the most important thing we could actually teach you about health. I really do believe that this is where, besides foundational nutrition, like the concept of understanding chemicals and contaminants in your home is really the number one thing that you can do to prepare for your healthy future as well as your healthy present. So, did you know that the air inside of our homes is actually a lot more polluted than the air outside? And that's because of what we build our homes with and what we place inside of our homes, what we clean our homes with, the products that we use inside of our homes. We really do invite a lot of toxins that maybe we didn't know about into our homes on a daily basis. So I think it's important to understand, first of all, how toxins damage our bodies. Now, there's 8 ways, and maybe you didn't know this. It's interesting. As I was studying for this, I was sitting with one of my girlfriends and I'm like, did you know there's 8 ways that toxins damage our bodies? And I started rattling them off to her. So I want you to learn and really understand why what Kirsten and I are about to teach you really applies to you and to everyone else in your home. So first of all, toxins poison enzymes so that they don't work properly. Do you guys remember last week we talked about enzymes, right? We took a little bit of a deep dive into digestive enzymes and how they work, and how if you don't have proper digestive enzymes, then your body will rob enzymes from other parts of your body, right? So our bodies are enzyme engines. Every physiological function depends on enzymes to manufacture molecules, produce energy, and create cell structures. So our toxins can really damage our enzymes and thus undermine countless bodily functions. This inhibits the production of hemoglobin in blood and can even lower our body's capacity to prevent free radical damage that also accelerates aging. So secondly, toxins displace structural minerals, which results in weaker bones. We talked about bone structure a little bit when I was sharing about our bone nutrient complex, right? But when toxins displace the calcium that's present in your bones, what happens is we have a weaker skeletal structure and we have increased toxins released by bone loss. So when our bones break down and become more brittle, that actually releases toxins as well. So it's important to understand how damaging displacing minerals in our bones can really be. Toxins, number 3, damage our organs. So if your digestive tract, your liver, your kidneys, or any of those vital organs are so toxic, they are unable to detoxify effectively. So when you are detoxifying, I'm saying the word toxic a lot, when you're detoxifying, your body can actually backfire and remain toxic. That's why when we were talking about cleansing your cleansing organs, remember how we talked about cleansing your filters in your home? Like when you got to replace the AC filters in your home or the filters in your car, you also have to detoxify your filters in your body. Otherwise, your organs can become more damaged. Okay. Number 4, we're halfway through the 8 ways toxins damage our bodies. So number 4, toxins damage DNA, which increases the rate of aging and degeneration. You know, many commonly used pesticides, they mimic estrogen in our body. They change the chemical makeup of our hormones, and they can actually damage your DNA. And that kind of goes along with number 5. They modify our gene expression. So our genes in our bodies switch on and off. And they do this because they're smart. They're actually able to adapt to changes in our bodies and to changes in the outer environment. That's why we thrive as a species. But many toxins will either activate or suppress our genes in undesirable ways. This is super important. This is why when we continue to use toxic chemicals, which we're going to talk about everything, we are not only experiencing maybe short-term results or side effects, but we are long-term changing the way that our genes express themselves. It's a really big deal. So number 6, toxins damage cell membranes so that they don't respond properly. So each of our cells, they send a signal, right? And the cells are talking to one another and they're sending a signal throughout our body, through our systems. And this happens in our cell membranes. So when we damage these cell membranes with toxins, it actually can prevent our cells from getting important messages. So it can damage, for example, insulin is a result when your cells are damaged. The insulin message can become blocked. And when your insulin is not signaling your cells to absorb more sugar, for example, or your muscle cells are not responding to the messages from your magnesium intensity and muscle spasms and different restless leg syndrome, things like that, these are most likely the result of your cell membranes not receiving the messages properly. So toxins also interfere, number 7, with hormones, and they cause imbalances. So they inhibit, mimic, and block hormones, like I already said. One example is arsenic. Okay, so arsenic disrupts thyroid hormone receptors on the cells. Has anyone ever had an issue with their thyroid? This is one of the most common concerns. Actually had a call with someone just a few days ago that was mostly concerned with her thyroid. And so when the thyroid hormone receptors don't get the message from the thyroid hormones, then this causes them to rev up the metabolism. And the result of that is inexplicable fatigue. Now, maybe some of you have been experiencing inexplicable fatigue. Maybe you haven't, but think about the ways that you feel and what might be triggering those reactions or non-reactions in your own body. Last but not least, toxins actually impair your ability to detoxify. So it actually kind of like the cause of the problem proliferates more of the problem. So when you're very toxic and desperately need to detoxify, it's harder to do than when you are non-toxic. So it's kind of like a cause and effect sort of a thing. So I wanted to really paint this picture for you as we move forward, so you can start to imagine what is maybe going on in your own body and in the bodies of those that you care about, and maybe consider which of these 8 things are the biggest concern for you. And then we will help you identify different ways for you to make decisions to detoxify moving forward.
I think that a reason that a lot of people don't seem to realize this is because all 8 of these are a gradual process, right? You're not going to come in contact with one of these things once or twice or 3 times, and then this is the problem that you have, but it's going to build up over years. It's going to add up. And for some people, it will work faster than others. Most people that don't take an active step in learning things like this and how to control them in their lives don't learn about it until they begin to have one of these problems, right? Until one of these things does build up and they have a damaged organ and they need to figure out what's going on. That's when people, take the impetus and they come and they say, what could be causing this? And they begin to learn about this. And once you start learning, you can't unlearn, right? You're like, oh, I've dipped my foot in the pond and now I know. And that knowledge right there is huge for your family. It's really that you can't place a value on it. And so I'm really excited about this class. Let's keep going. Okay.
Yes, thank you for that. Really good point. Okay, now we won't talk about every single one of these toxins today. In fact, we could probably do like an entire class on just formaldehyde or just triclosan, right? So we're not going to do that, but these are some common ingredients found in a lot of skincare and face care and body care products, okay? So we will talk about some of them, but just to familiarize yourself, formaldehyde is a big one. When I think of formaldehyde, I think of embalming dead bodies, so definitely want to stay away from whatever is going to preserve a body in that way. Parabens, triclosan, coal tar, sodium lauryl sulfate, some things like that, okay? So we'll move into some of those things. All right, now, to keep things simple, right, Kirsten, we're going to focus on 2 major sources of toxins that we're exposed to. The first is your household products, and the second are your personal care products.
I think that it's good to simplify it like this because when you begin learning, there's so many areas of your life that you're coming into contact with it that it's quite overwhelming. And so for today, for our 45-minute to an hour class, we're going to come down to these 2 sections. And these 2 sections are sections that we can do a lot about. When we learn it, it isn't like this is something that we can't change, that we can't touch. We can. And so we're going to do some of that today where we talk about what you might be coming in contact with and how we can make those changes in your life today. For me, when I started learning about toxic products, it was because of the personal care side of things. My husband has a problem with his sensitive skin all over. If our laundry detergent didn't change often enough, he would start breaking out in rashes. If he didn't switch his deodorants enough, he's got problems in the armpits. And that's when I started learning about sensitive skin, what's causing this in him. And this was probably 10 years ago. And my husband and I are both cancer survivors. And so we're always a little more careful, a little more, cognizant of what we're doing and how it can affect us and our bodies. And even if you haven't had cancer, now's the time to become more cognizant and aware so that you don't have to go the hard route to figure out how your body is being affected by all of these things. And so this is an awesome quote down here, right? While some companies make products that are safe to eat, others choose to use known human carcinogens and developmental toxins like coal tar and lead acetate. When risky chemicals are used in cosmetics, the stakes are high. These aren't trace contaminants like part per million or even part per billion that sometimes come in our water and our food. These are the base ingredients of the products that people are putting on their body, right? Like if it's in your lipstick, you're straight up eating it. And imagine the quantity of these products that we're putting inside of our bodies on purpose, right? Just like flour is the main ingredient in bread. These chemicals are found in percentage levels in personal care products, and nearly all easily penetrate the skin, and some we ingest directly. And so I think most women probably put 8 to 10 products on their bodies every day, right? Shampoo, conditioner, underarm deodorant. I mean, your face care alone, people have 4 to 6 different creams and salves that they're putting on their face. Then we get into makeup, lotions. Oh, my hands are dry. What am I going to grab for? Like, if you spend a day and tally all the things that touch your skin and come onto your body, it's going to blow you away. It's going to blow you away. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, for sure. And just as a reminder, this PDF is, if you all have that, I think my assistant sent that out to you beforehand. She's supposed to. my invitation to you today is make a decision to just do one. I mean, you could do more if you want, but if you feel overwhelmed, pick one category of health that we're going to talk to you about and just make one switch. That's how I have done this over the last few years. It wasn't just like, okay, everything, so don't let yourself get overwhelmed with it. It's just one decision at a time. All right. So I got to talk about something. We're going to talk about a few products, then we'll show you what we use. I want you to understand something. Hand sanitizer is everywhere. Every restaurant, every store, the mall, the church, everywhere. I got people standing outside my church wanting to get hand sanitizer on me. I'm like, don't touch me that. Do you understand? The FDA has now banned more than 100 hand sanitizers that are potentially deadly. This is not a good thing. I think people are well-intentioned, like the stores, they're just kind of doing what they're told. This is a big problem. This was posted August 3rd, 2020. Okay. So like about 2 months ago, they banned over 100 hand sanitizers. How do you know that the one that is at your local store or whatever isn't one that is banned? It's actually because the presence of methanol, which is a substance that's toxic to humans when it's absorbed in the skin. And if you're putting it on your hand all day long, every day, this is actually a problem, okay? 12 toxic ingredients to avoid in your shampoos and conditioners. I'm not gonna go through and read every single one of these. It would be difficult for you to remember, cocamidopropyl betaine, right? But what you need to understand is sodium lauryl sulfate is in most shampoos. That sounds very familiar to me. I've seen this ingredient in a lot. It causes cancer, liver damage, skin rashes, and even depression. Can you imagine what you're washing your hair with causes depression? Like, why? Why would that, Kirsten, why would that be allowed? I don't know.
It's no wonder that there's such a large percentage of the population that is having depression problems. I mean, COVID aside, crazy world aside, even before that was happening, so many people, neighbors that I've had, friends that I've had, family members that I've had, have such a difficult time, with depression and, their emotions, which are so strongly linked into our hormones and our endocrine system. And so many parts of our bodies that are directly affected by the things that we're talking about today.
Yeah. And what about retinol palmitate? Causes reproductive and organ system toxicity. How common now is reproductive issues? I don't have a statistic on that one, but I just know, it's difficult. It's a lot more difficult now for a lot of my friends and even siblings to have babies. And, there's lots of different reasons. I'm not saying, oh, it was your shampoo, that's for sure. I'm just saying, like, pay attention to what you're using on and around your body. It is affecting every cell membrane. So these are important things to consider. Another one I think is very interesting. Next time you're at the store, go down the toothpaste aisle and look at the color of the red of the square that is on the different tubes of toothpaste. There's actually a key. So if it has a black square or rectangle, that means it is purely chemical. Your toothpaste, you're just putting it right in your mouth, absorbing right into your bloodstream, pure chemicals. If it has a red square, it is an indication that there are some natural components to that toothpaste, but also there is chemical composition. All right. Blue would be an indication that there are natural components plus some medicinal components. I'm not exactly sure what the FDA is classifying as medicinal, but that is what is there. And a green square indicates that it is all natural. So toothpaste is another one that's actually a really interesting part. We all brush our teeth at least once, if not 2 or 3 times a day. I know my children do this as well. This is something that I can pretty much guarantee a product that everyone is using every day, multiple times a day. So why would we not want to be more aware of the kinds of toothpaste that we're using? Very important, right? Next.
Our gums, by the way, our gums are one of the most open sources of our body because it's wrapped around to our actual skin organ, that it's one of the fastest ways to get things into your system, into your blood circulation. And so
Yeah.
for us to be taking this directly on the gums, putting it in our mouth and just sucking it into our bodies is just,
Totally.
it's
So any
crazy.
like sublingual, like if you put medicine like under your tongue, like it's a very quick way to get something into your bloodstream. And your mouth health is also connected to your heart health as well, and a lot of other systems of your body. So yeah, super, super important. All right, Kirsten, I know you
So
want to talk about
99% of breast cancer, I wanted to talk about this. In those numbers 1 through 8 that Kirsten showed in the beginning, one of the things that she talked about there was that it damages our DNA, right? Why is this important? What does it matter if some of our DNA is damaged? Well, none of us are dead yet, right? Which means that our skin cells are turning over, our body is growing, it's carrying out its functions, and it's creating cells. So when it creates cell and a cell splits in two, if that DNA is damaged and then it splits in two, we're going to have 2 damaged DNA cells, right? And the more of those that replicate and split, this is what cancer is coming from. And so that number 4 on that list up there, it sounds like such a small thing. Oh, can damage your DNA, but that is a large indicator of your probabilities of getting cancer. How much damaged DNA do you have in your body? That's about how high your chances are of contracting some kind of cancer, right? Males have a much higher chance of getting cancer in their lifetime than women. For some reason, it's like 47%, and women are 37%, but a large percentage of that is breast cancer. It's the #1 leading cause of death in women ages 35 to 54 right now. And there is a lot that can be done to try to protect yourself from this, right? It says here 99% of breast cancer tissue contains a specific chemical that's found in everyday beauty products. And those are parabens, right? Parabens are something in our body that they kind of mimic estrogen. And so our bodies make their own estrogen. They make all the estrogen that most people need, as long as they don't have some kind of a different underlying health concern related to their estrogen. But so many products that we're talking about today on this list, not the people, the doctors, what is it? The industry has dubbed environmental estrogens, because when our body takes them in, it treats them like estrogen and acts like estrogen, which means that not only is our body making some, but it's coming in a plethora of different ways. And that makes our body stop making its own natural estrogen, first of all. And then second of all, gives us way too much of this substance that our body doesn't want more of. We know that estrogen makes our body create breast tissue cells, right? Specifically, this is a big thing, which is why it's so common here. And so for 99% of breast cancer tissue that's cancerous, have this in it, tells us directly that it's coming into our bodies, and we know straight where it's going to. It's going to our breasts, right? The parabens are preservatives in our cosmetics. So they're what stops the cosmetics from molding on the shelf, right? From the smells changing over time. And that's why so many companies are hesitant to take them out of their products. They also have placental extracts and benzophenoms, which is another estrogenic chemical that's common in our feminine products, but also ends up in our breast tissue, right? So by taking out from our deodorant that has a lot of parabens in it as well, all of the healthcare beauty products that we've talked to, they're going to come in through our gums, they're going to come into our hair, through our skin directly, and migrate where we don't want them. And so if you think, oh, breast cancer doesn't run in my family, you could be the one to infect your family. And then it will be in your family for your children and your children's children. So just because it doesn't run in your family doesn't mean it doesn't need to be a concern of yours, right?
Yeah, thank you. You know, I have tried to switch to paraben and aluminum free deodorant a few times in my life. Like I know, like I hear and I learn it and I'm like, I know this is so bad, but I'm used to using antiperspirant. I like not getting sweaty. I like the way it smells. It's stronger. I'm so stinky, like, oh, you know. So I would try a few times. And I remember 5 years ago, I had actually about 4 years ago, I had just had my fifth child. And I was trying to get off of aluminum deodorant, right? But I just liked it so much. Anyway, so I'm breastfeeding my child, and I came across a picture of like the anatomy of a breast, like the mammary glands and like all the different ways that it's all. And it hit me so hard. I'm like, Kirsten, you cannot shave your, okay, you're in the shower, your pores are open, you shave your armpits, you get out of the shower, your pores are open, then you put aluminum and parabens into your open armpit pores. And then like, you don't think that's going to go right there into your breast tissue and like into your milk and into all your cells. I was like, okay, get over like the fear of natural deodorant, because this is important. Think about women and getting breast cancer. Now, I don't have like a direct quote from, medical doctors and everybody proving, but use your brain and think about it. You shave your armpits, most likely, your pores are open, and then you put aluminum and paraben and fragrances and all of that right into this area of your body that has all these lymph nodes and all these things. And
I have a slide that I made. Can I show that slide, Kirsten?
Yeah. Do you want me to stop sharing and then you can share?
Yeah, it won't let me share. I tried to pull it up while you were chatting. And
can
right
you
here.
Share now?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Will this get bigger?
Yay.
Hold on. And I can do this. Next one. All right. So I have been reading a lot about this because this is one of the big things that my husband has struggled with. It's one of the first things that like I mentioned before, that got us into talking about more natural products in our body. And so our bodies actually have two types of sweat. They have eccrine gland sweat. That's mostly salt and water. This is when you're exercising. This is when you're hot, right? And then we have apocrine gland sweat. And this is more of a milky consistency. This is related to our hormones, right? If we're nervous, like I can think of a couple people, my mother-in-law is one of them, where when I get on the phone, I instantly start sweating, even if it's, I'm outside and it's freezing. And so when I read this, I'm like, that makes total sense why sometimes I start sweating uncontrollably. I'm not even exercising. But noticing that there are two different kinds can help us as we try to tackle this problem of smell that nobody wants to have, right? And so many people say, oh, I've heard that aluminum is bad for me before, right? I know I shouldn't use it. If I find one that works for me, then I'll switch. So it's so conditional upon, is that smell going to be taken care of, instead of the more important factor of, am I protecting my body from horrible things that I'm putting into it, right? And so that's because most people don't understand why it's so bad. They just know they don't want to smell, right? And so salt and water, that doesn't smell at all. And the apocrine gland sweat doesn't have a smell either. But what happens is when these things come out of our body, they attach to the bacteria that's in our armpits, that's in our clothes and that kind of thing. And that is what is creating the smells that are coming out of our body. So some people are more smelly than others because of what their apocrine gland sweat smells like, but also because of how well they manage the pH balance level in their armpits. And so I remember switching and then feeling smelly and then going back. And I hadn't quite learned all the way about it yet. And then going back, and then someone gave me a homemade deodorant, right? Which I tried and I liked. But overall, everybody smells. And that's okay, right? We can manage it together, and realizing that we all have a natural odor to our own body is an okay thing, right? So things that you can do without being related to deodorant at all, you can change your diets, right? Red meats, a lot of meats and dairy products are going to change the smell that comes out when your body sweats, right? Eating more herbs, whether they're natural herbs or whether they're coming to you in the form of essential oils, naturally helps to detoxify tons of things out of your body. If you're someone that's been using deodorant for years that has these parabens, that has the formaldehyde, the phtalates, the antibacterial substances in them, you're going to need to do some type of a detox to clean your pores out that are going on in here. And so I found this recipe here. It's made with bentonite clay, which is a natural clay found in the ground that has amazing healing properties across the board for a lot of things. You're going to mix that with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of bentonite clay, 3 drops rosemary, and 5 drops cilantro. It's going to create a paste. You're going to want to rub some of that on your armpits in the morning for about 15 minutes, leave it there, and then you can hop in the shower or wipe it off with a cloth and do this for about a week. It's going to reset your receptors under here. It's going to reset the actual pH balance of your skin in your armpit, which is going to change the way your sweat smells immediately, and how much in your clothes the bacteria is building up. If you're someone that exercises all the time, maybe you don't have the time to shower right away, or you exercise and then you start cleaning, and then before you know it, it's been 8 hours since you sweated and you're still holding the same bacteria in your armpits and in your clothing. Change your clothes real quick, right? A little bit of water or even a little bit of coconut oil there will reset your pH balance. let it dry, and then move on. So I know this was a lot about this, but this is something that I've learned a lot about recently. Also, drinking mineral water and sweating, whether it's in the sauna or not, is going to help you urinate the aluminum that's actually in your body. So not regular water, mineral water is going to pull that out for you. Okay. And I have used natural deodorants that have worked really well. doTERRA's is amazing. We'll talk about that soon, but why don't I give you back your screen?
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I would say if there's one thing, like, we're going to go through a list of things, right? And you may want to make a decision to change one thing or another. If there was one thing, I would actually highly encourage you to change your deodorant. Like, of all things, like, keep using the crappy soap and shampoo, whatever. Like, if you can't give it all up right now, like, the deodorant is a good one. It's a very important one. I really like that you showed us, the steps to getting to a place where natural deodorants will work really well for you. So thank you for that. It's actually very, very helpful. So go ahead and chat in the chat box. Also, I would love to hear from you guys. What is something that you want to change in your life? Like, where do you feel like you need the most help with eliminating toxins in your own life, if you have something? I'd love to see that as we move on. So we'll keep going, and let me jump back in. Where'd my screen go? I don't know. My goodness, these things are so special. Okay, I lost my. There we go.
Okay.
No, you're fine. I just need to find the actual screen that I'm looking for, and I found it. So sometimes my screens hide from me. Okay, perfect. Got it. I'm working from a laptop today too, so that's different. Okay. Here we go. Moving on. Okay, so you all have these products listed on your PDF that we sent to you, hopefully, that Julianne sent to you. So let's go through our personal care products right now. So we'll start with the personal care products, and then we will move to the household products after that. So personal care products that we like to use. So we've talked about toothpaste, right? I'd like to talk about our On Guard toothpaste. On Guard is one of my favorite blends. I feel like it's the most commonly used household oil because I clean with it. I wash everything with it. I wash my clothes, my toilet, my mouth, like all these different things with On Guard. So On Guard toothpaste is a fluoride-free toothpaste that has all the oils in On Guard: rosemary, clove. Clove is so good for your mouth. Dentists use clove. And if they don't use clove, they use a chemical compound found in clove to numb your mouth. So clove is actually it's the OG. It's like the original. And clove is where they find all the mouth numbing products from. So clove, cinnamon, rosemary, eucalyptus, and wild orange in an all-natural fluoride-free toothpaste.
If you guys are having dental pain of any kind, you can actually take clove oil and put it directly inside your mouth. And believe it or not, it doesn't burn in your mouth. If you get it on the outside here, that's going to burn. But for some reason, inside your mouth, it doesn't burn your skin the way that it does on the outside. I did this just last week because I had some hot cold sensation going on over here because of some dental work I had last week. And I put it right in there tucked, and it helps. So it's also good for babies that are teething, right? And this is all kinds of pain, whether it's related to sensitivity, whether you had dental work or you're about to have dental work. It's not expensive. And you guys all got a bottle of it free this month because it was one of the $125 free purchases. So you have it now. Don't forget about it when you have dental or something like that that's coming up. So it's a matter of making that habit, right?
Beautiful. Yes. You want to go with number 2?
Yeah, sure.
I think you were supposed to do number 1 and 2, and I'm like,
no, that's okay. So doTERRA's first deodorant was this natural deodorant with Balance. Balance is our grounding blend oil, right? And so I got really excited to try this. Just the thought of when I have that nervous sweat that I'm talking about, instead of getting more nervous about it, I might smell a little more of the Balance oil coming at me to help me calm down, and ground me a little bit. We also have a wild orange and Greek Douglas fir. I think I put too many words in there. And that is the second deodorant that we carry all the time. There was a floral one that actually just came out this past summer that I didn't grab one of, but all of these deodorants are going to be completely free of the items that we've talked about today and be safe to use. And because of that, it's okay to put them on more than once a day, right? Shower, put it on. You're going to take off from the house. You haven't sweat. You're a little worried. You can put a little more on. I've also, when I've been nursing, I'll put a little bit underneath in other areas where I sweat, right? So underneath my bra line a little bit, just to, I know that sweat collects there. Isn't that kind of smart?
I'm never
Yeah.
that.
And other, it has areas. Yeah. And it totally helps manage the bacteria in that area and keep down the smell, right?
So good.
Easy.
Excellent.
And
I just want
everybody
to
has one of those.
Yeah, I want to point out there's different flavors. If you don't love the balance one, try the citrus one. Like there's a few, there was a beautiful one. Their beautiful blend is amazing. So there's, just like with any deodorant, there's different kinds. My personal favorite is the sensitive formula that has the Greek orange. That's the one that feels the best on my skin. So I love that one. So moving on, I did see, I think it was Stephanie. I can't see my chat box all of a sudden. It hides from me when I'm sharing my screen. So I think I saw Stephanie talking about the shampoo and the conditioner. So I actually do color my hair, and it is a color safe formula. So that's not a problem if you are somebody that likes to color your hair. So it is a color safe formula. This shampoo and conditioner for years. And then one of my friends started selling, like there's a shampoo company, and I like to support people with their businesses and stuff. So I bought some of this, I don't remember what it was called, but some shampoo, that was supposed to help my hair get thicker and that sort of a thing. And I actually really went back to the doTERRA one very quickly. I missed it. I felt like there was a lot of residue and buildup in my hair from the other one. And this one is quite clarifying, and it's light and it smells amazing. And for some reason, the shampoo is sparkly. I don't know how they do that. It's not chemicals, but it's just a combination of whatever they use. So my whole family uses this combination of shampoo and conditioner. You can get it in larger bottles as well with like a pump top. So I prefer that, getting the larger ones. They also have samples of the shampoo and conditioner. So if you're not quite sure, if you want to get it, grab some samples of it and see what you think. So it's a great one.
Stephanie's comment that you're missing is actually really amazing.
Yeah.
She said she's trying this and she wants to know if it works with all types of hair and scalps. And the answer is yes. Yeah. If you're someone with a flaky scalp, it's going to help really well with that as well. If you have, it seems to work for all my kids use it, and they have several different types of hair, and it is been awesome for everybody so far. She also mentioned that she's using the On Guard toothpaste and been using it for a month, and she doesn't have sensitive teeth anymore. So nice. It's super exciting. I have a dry mouth problem, and this toothpaste is the best I've found to help with my teeth sensitivity and my dry mouth. So you got to try the mouthwash, by the way. I don't know if we'll mention that.
We didn't mention mouthwash, but we should, because it's epic.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. You brought up a good point that I think it's worth talking about. The formula in the shampoo and conditioner has essential oils that are very nourishing for your scalp. So it's not just like, a hair thing that makes your hair look nice. It actually heals your scalp if you have, dandruff or dry scalp or whatever. So there's a hair serum as well. My husband actually went through a phase about a year ago where he thought he was losing his hair. He's like 41. He's got a nice full head of hair. Not all guys do. It's all good, whatever, but he's got a nice full head of hair, and he thought he was losing his hair for a minute, and he was kind of like freaking out, and he started putting that serum on his head every single day. And happy to report he did not lose any hair. It might have been in his head. I don't know, but he likes that serum. That's one thing that as a man, like, he can talk about, is that hair serum, and he uses this combination all the time. So good stuff for our hair. Okay, the last thing is, and I won't spend too much time here because we're actually going to do an entire skincare class, I believe, next week. But this Barrage skincare system is so pure. You could actually eat it. Like, I don't know if you want to. I don't know if I haven't tried it. It didn't taste, I don't think it tastes good, but it is that pure. It's pure enough to use on your skin, on your children's skin, any kind of skin. It is very mild and wonderful. So, we'll just leave it at that. And just so you know, there's quite a few different options for skincare. There's no reason why you would not shift your skincare regimen to a natural regimen. There's lots of options that we have here. So, all right, moving on. Okay, now we're going to jump into the household products. Okay, so Kirsten, if you'd like to start with those.
Yeah. Okay. So this On Guard cleaner concentrate, notice that it doesn't say bathroom cleaner concentrate or kitchen cleaner concentrate. It also can be eaten because of how pure it is. And so once I've gotten so many toxic things out of my home, I don't have to lock my cabinets anymore, like child safe for my baby, because there's nothing in there that they could eat that would actually harm them, which I love. And so this guy right here, I use it in my bathrooms. I use it in my kitchen. I actually make my udder wipes for my goat teats. So I milk a goat every day, twice a day. And you have to clean their udders, right? If you want the milk out of there and you want it clean and bacteria free. And so I just mix this with water and nothing else, dilute it down and put it on my cloths. And so when I milk my goat every day, I smell On Guard, and then my hands smell like On Guard because I wipe it all over their teats and then I get to milking right there. And so it's that pure that I put it on their skin twice a day, every day, and their skin is completely fine. So it's amazing. And it's so versatile that you'll get it. It's going to last a while because it's concentrated. The smells you're going to love. They don't give you the headaches. Like I remember cleaning my bathroom, opening the windows and the doors and everything, and like holding my breath and covering my mouth because I knew that I had to kill all the bacteria in there, but breathing it in gave me such a headache. And now you can shut yourself in the bathroom and close the windows and close the doors and just suck it all in while you're cleaning. This is a great product. And I really highly recommend it. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
I can't tell you the number of my friends who say, oh, I just clean my shower, just go in there and spray bleach everywhere and then shut the door and not with them in there, but they just leave, you know, and I just cringe. Please stop doing that. Just imagine with me for a moment, okay? You clean your shower with all the bleach, then you come in there at any time, whether it's that day or the next day, and you turn on the steam and then your pores open up. You're in there with your pores as open as they're ever going to be. And those chemicals start coming out and you're absorbing those in your skin. Now, just like Kirsten said, you may, first of all, it's going to make you feel kind of sick, maybe give you a headache or feel nauseous. But remember the 8 things that you learned today that toxins do to your body. So we're not just talking about like, oh, what happened one day. We're talking about repeated use of these chemicals and what starts to happen in your DNA and your cell membranes over time. Very important. Go ahead with number 2, my dear. I'm going to turn on the lights.
All right. Our On Guard foaming hand wash, another really simple switch out in your house. And it comes with, if you see right behind, 2 foaming pumps, which are absolutely awesome. You pour a little bit in, fill the rest with water, and you have this thick foaming soap, which for anybody with kids will wash their hands 200 times more if the bubbles come straight out than if they just get the soap itself. I don't know why, but we got these last Christmas and my kids, they were moving them always because we have 3 bathrooms, right? And a kitchen with 2 sinks. And so I had to get another one right away because I would want to wash my hands here, but they took it up to their bathroom. And I'm like, hey, what the heck? This needs to be down here. So a great smell, great to bring into your house at Christmas time also because of the cinnamon and the clove and the orange that come in there. And so this has been out of stock for a while. So if you can get your hands on it now, it's an exciting thing and an easy switch.
Thank you for that. You can get one now with your loyalty rewards order. So you can get 1 bottle. It was out for a while. I mean, you know, with COVID and everything, everybody kind of panicked, bought all this stuff. Now I have to mention triclosan. Okay. So triclosan is actually a chemical that is found in antibacterial soaps. And it has now been banned. But a lot of the soaps are, I don't know, just read your labels. If you see triclosan, which is commonly found in hand sanitizers and antibacterial soaps, this is not good. What this does is it erases all bacteria on your hands and your body and whatever, and you don't want that. Think about bacteria like this. If you were to go into a big movie theater, right? And you've got like good bacteria and bad bacteria, you've got like a good combination of these things, you know, if you wipe out all the bad bacteria and the good bacteria, when toxins or bacteria or viruses are introduced again, you don't have good bacteria there to fight off the bad bacteria. You've wiped out your whole system. So if you're washing your hands a lot and you're using antibacterial soap, this is not a good thing. It's actually going to make you sicker, weaker, and more vulnerable when sicknesses do come around. So you don't want to be getting rid of the good bacteria, just the bad. And that's one of my favorite things about using essential oils is they actually don't get rid of the bad. Excuse me, the good. They get rid of the bad.
Kirsten did say, look at your labels, right? If ever you pick up a product to look at the label and it says, go to this website to find a complete list of ingredients, put that right back. There's nothing you're going to find on that website that you're going to like. And so you're going to want always to have a completely transparent list as much as possible, because the FDA actually doesn't make them disclose everything. They can choose to leave something off, and that's totally okay, but no one's going to force them to put it on there. And so you want to be sure you have the complete list.
And did you know that a lot of companies will, so formaldehyde, like I mentioned, formaldehyde, most companies will have formaldehyde in their product, especially cosmetics, but they list it as formalin because they can. It's what they're legally allowed to do. And so, if I taught you, oh, make sure you don't have formaldehyde, and it says formaldehyde free, but it has formalin. Yeah, that was just a twist of the truth, right? It's not good. It's really not good. And people are waking up, right? And that's why you guys are on here, because you're ready to learn. You're ready to really see what's going on. So moving on, just having a diffuser with essential oils. This would replace your toxic fragrant candles. I gotta tell you, I have a lot of girlfriends who I love. Kirsten and I share a group of friends and they are obsessed with Bath and Body Works. Every time we go to the mall, they are just jumping in there and they want to go to get all these candles and all these things. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm trying not to be rude, but I am serious. I can't not tell you about how your hormones are going to be disrupted and all these things, So these candles really do contain fragrances and things that disrupt your hormones, that disrupt a lot of the balance, in your body and in your home. So just make some better decisions. Essential oils are so fun and beautiful, and you can put them around the house and they work just as good as a candle. And you know what's worse than a candle is Glade plugins. Okay, so if you can't quite get to the diffuser yet, but just there's ways to kind of move in the right direction. Okay. The diffusers are so amazing. They clean the air in your house. Your candle's not going to clean the air in your house. It's going to make it dirtier, right? It might smell like a good dirty, but it's not cleaning the air in your house. It's not cleansing your cells, cleansing the environment, and really providing a space for good things to flourish, right? You're kind of masking the bad instead of getting rid of it. Last, but certainly not least, is our On Guard laundry detergent. Now, our clothes, they have the soap on them, right? They have a residue on them. And like Kirsten said, they had to change their laundry detergent regularly for your husband, right? So maybe you could talk more about that. I haven't had an experience like that. Why would someone need to change their laundry detergent?
Okay, so these fragrances are really the cause of what we're talking about. And I actually have a slide. Can I screen share one more time?
Yeah, of course.
I'll do all my screen sharing, and then I won't have to have you disrupt your slides anymore.
That's good. I'm sure everybody really appreciates what you got.
Oh, did I click on that? Oh, yes, I did. I meant this. Okay. Where did it go? It's
It takes a minute. They hide from you.
It's not here. My PowerPoint. Okay, maybe it will be now. And
this is where that sweat comes in, right?
Okay, I got it.
I can't find my slides. I'm sweating. No, you're good.
Okay. All right, let's go to this one. Okay, so the laundry detergent, the problem is your fragrances, man. This is a huge problem. The fragrances that are coming in our clothing, and people don't realize why they're so bad, because they are all on that list of things that we talked about earlier, right? That block your body's ability to detoxify itself. So they're putting toxins in and then trapping them in there and really cutting them off. Where did I have that list? Right here. Main dryer sheets contain fragrance and other chemicals that can trigger asthma, disrupt your hormones. And in a study where researchers tested 5 types of name brand dryer sheets, which you're getting the same type of stuff from dryer sheets in your detergents, the findings showed that the dryer sheets emitted 15 different endocrine disrupting compounds and chemicals associated with asthma. And that these evidence from this study is showing that it also has negative problems with your reproductive system, your nervous system, your metabolism, and cancer. So by using laundry detergents that are full of fragrances and parabens, it can actually slow your metabolism down and make you gain weight. Your laundry detergent can do that. Let alone, we've already talked about cancer. This one study was part of a study where they took 50 different consumer products. So those are all the products that we've listed today and talked about swapping out. And dryer sheets, along with air fresheners, sunscreens, and perfumes, all of those which are heavy in fragrance, had the largest number of chemicals and some of the highest concentrations out of all of the different types of products. And so when Kirsten said, if you were going to only change something, change that deodorant, right? You want to change that deodorant. And then second, you want to look at everything that's heavily fragranced. In a nice world, you'd be able to buy the fragrance-free version. But like we talked about, they don't have to list everything in there. So even if it says fragrance-free on the front, they can not list something that's in there or rename it a fresh scent or a natural scent. To them, maybe it doesn't count as a fragrance, but it's a crazy thing that's coming in there. And so if you're having trouble because you switched to natural laundry detergent and perhaps you feel like you're still having a buildup in your clothes, your friends are vinegar and baking soda. And so put your regular load to wash, put a cup of vinegar in one. Then in your next load, put a cup of baking soda. And I do this probably once a year where I'll go through a gallon of vinegar and a whole gallon bag of baking soda where I just reset the pH balance of all of our clothing so that nothing seems to be building up. This has been key to me for continuing to use natural detergents in our clothing. And so that last one was detergents. And so now I'm just going to go over a couple of things here, right? I put these slides together and I've never used PowerPoint before. So I was really proud of myself. Okay, so right here on the left is a recipe for, oh, the recipe isn't on this picture. Okay, so this is what I use instead of dryer sheets, okay? In this large glass jar, I have 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of water, and it's hot water, and 2 tablespoons of baking soda. I know, I thought I went and grabbed the one picture that had it on it with all the writing. It must have been the next.
Vinegar,
1 cup vinegar, 1 cup hot water.
Oh,
yeah. And 2 tablespoons of baking soda. And so I put the hot water in first, dissolve the baking soda, and then I add the vinegar a little bit at a time so it doesn't bubble out over. And vinegar and baking soda, this is your alkali, this is your pH balance, right? So this is going to help your clothes on a continual basis. And then once you have that together, which this jar is huge, so I've tripled that recipe, then you add 15 to 20 drops of any essential oil you want. It's a great idea to put On Guard or tea tree or eucalyptus, something that is very antibacterial, right? And then I cut these sponges in half that I got from the store and I drop them down in there. When I put my clothes into my dryer, I reach in and grab a little sponge out, oops, and wring it out just a little bit and toss it in my dryer. And this does 2 things. First, it's going to help cut down on bacteria that's hanging out in your clothes and redo that pH balance. But second, the reason that people have so much static cling, which is why they always claim they put in the dryer sheets, they're like, oh, it's all about the static, is because you're over drying your clothes, right? So when you put that sponge in there and you dry your clothes, you should stop the dryer when your sponge is still soft and pliable. If you pull your sponge out and it's hard, you're over drying your clothes. And so this is an indicator of not only over drying your clothes, which makes them thin out and not last as long, but also helps to keep it fresh and keep down the static cling from going on. So if Kirsten put that in the comments, then you guys have that. And it's also on my Instagram page in my cleaning recipes, okay? And so this is one of the first ones that I started doing. And I love that I can change the essential oils in it every time. So I have different fragrances in there. A lot of people, it's all about the fragrance and they buy different ones so that you notice the smell changing. I can do that too without parabens and fragrances. So yay.
I love it. I got to say, my mom puts Whisper. There's a blend called Whisper on her dryer balls. And I don't know, I just like forget when I'm home. I just have my oil. I use Purify mostly because I have a bunch of stinky boys. But when I'm at my mom's house now and I'm in her laundry room, I'm like, Whisper. It's like beautiful, musky, soft, like it's really good.
Yeah. And so if the laundry scent isn't coming out as strong as you want from the sponges, some people want really strong smelling laundry. Like Kirsten just mentioned, you want to drop oils on your dryer balls. These dryer balls are going to help make your clothes soft by bouncing around in there with your clothes, right? The dryer sheet actually had things on it that coat your clothes to help it feel softer. So in taking that out, this is going to help your clothes still stay soft. And so sometimes I used to like just keep bottles in there and I put 1 drop on 1 ball and 1 drop on 1 ball. And then I'm like, I got 6 balls in here and I'm using it. And so I just make a blend now. And so I put all the things that I like into an old empty bottle. And that way I'm reusing my bottle. So it has another purpose. I put another sticker on it, but this is my favorite blend here. Wild orange, lemon, tea tree, and geranium. I love the floral that comes out of the geranium. And when you mix it with the citrus, it's not too sweet to me. And so I think Stephanie has this. I mixed this up for Stephanie and I brought it to her when she finished my other continuing education program. And so she's got it all ready to go in a dropper and you just tap your balls, toss them in. And if your dryer sits there and you don't get to it right away, the fragrance really pushes into your clothes versus if you take it out when it's done. So, okay, were you going to say something, Kirsten?
No, I'm just loving this. I get so, I mean, here's what's so funny about this. You can just get excited about laundry, you know? It's just like, it's just like a whole, oh, don't worry about me. I'm just gonna be in the laundry room, just dumping oils on balls, you know? It's wow. It's great.
Okay, this is one more recipe that I wanted to leave with you guys. I have 5 children, and so sometimes somebody will use the correct amount of toothpaste. Sometimes they will use half a bottle of toothpaste, and then you shouldn't be out, but you are out. And so that happened to us, and it forced us to make our own toothpaste one day because my next order wasn't going to process for a few days, and then it would take time to ship to me, right? And I thought I had another one, but I didn't. Anyway, so my son made this with me and got so excited about it that this is what he wants. He doesn't want the doTERRA toothpaste because he says it's too spicy. This is his. So half of my kids like it and half of them don't. I make it in a jar and I use their little toothbrush, and you just kind of scoop a little bit out and brush away. Some recipes you'll find have salt. You don't want to add salt because baking soda is already salty because of how it's kind of acidic, right? So you put your coconut oil in there, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, maybe start with 1 and try it out. You know, coconut oil, if you've ever heard of pulling, is great for your health because of how it sets your pH balance in your mouth, right? We use some stevia to sweeten it up so it's not so bitter. And then the fun part is changing the flavor with your essential oils. We'll put a couple drops of this and this, mix it up. We'll brush our teeth. We brush our teeth like 10 times while we're adding the oils until we get it the way we like it. And then he has this jar and it just sits on the bathroom in the counter. And he's so proud of himself that he uses it. And his older brother, Jesse, doesn't want to use it, but a great option here just to take out. It's just so simple that you know everything that's in here, and that always feels good with dental health. And so that is another recipe you guys can screenshot there. If you didn't get a chance to screenshot the deodorant detox, you can grab that there. And by the way, this bentonite clay is like $6 on Amazon. It's not a hard to find thing. It's not expensive. And so, yeah. Okay. Let me stop. Oh, there was one more thing. The last thing was, oh no. Okay. No, that's good. I had a quote here that I wanted to share with you guys that is once again not showing itself. Okay. Now let's see if it'll do it. I lost you guys actually. Where is Zoom?
We can see it.
Oh, you see what's on my screen?
Once you green.
Yes, I'm still screen sharing. That's awesome. Okay, so this is a quote from another class that I have listened to, and I love this quote. It's from Deirdre Imus, and she writes books about taking toxins out of our life and cleaning our homes naturally. Once you green one aspect of your life, I can guarantee you're going to want to continue. You're not going to take some toxins out and be like, that's enough toxins. I'm good with the rest of them, right? Going green is a constantly evolving process that all follows from the first tiny step. I just think it's important for you to see that it's a process. It's not something you're going to do and you're going to be done, right? You'll try a different product and maybe it works for a while, and then maybe you have some issues and you need to tweak it and you need to find what works for your body. And so it's a commitment and a process more than something that you're going to check off your list, because once you have that desire to take toxins out of your life, you'll continue to work at it to keep your life functioning and to keep using natural products. And then you will feel so good about yourself and what you're doing for the earth, because what we're doing in our homes is also amazing for the earth. And so that is my little quote there.
Beautiful.
If I can get you back. Did I stop screen sharing or are you still looking at my screen?
No, you're still sharing.
Okay. All right. Still?
Yes. Oh, I think
okay.
I can grab it back from you though.
Yeah. Why don't you do that? Because I
grab it back. All right. We're about done, but thank you
thank you
much. That was awesome. I love learning from you. Okay. So we are about done. I just want to kind of remind you, this is how I would go about this, right? We've talked for 3 weeks now about the loyalty rewards program. Here's where it starts to make a lot of sense to you, right? Because a lot of you are like, I don't know how I'm going to buy this many essential oils. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. You are using these products in your home every day. You're washing your hair, you're washing your clothes and your toilet and your teeth, you're sanitizing your hands. A lot of you have a skincare regimen, things like that are pretty normal that you're doing. When you add some or all or a mixture of these non-toxic products into your shopping carts, that's when you start earning a lot of free points, right? And so this is regular stuff. So each month when you purchase a new non-toxic product, you're going to earn at least 10% back in free product credits to use and earn free oils like every month. So at this point, I didn't, probably should have, but for 3 months, you earn 10% back in free product credits. And then you bump up to 15% back and 20, and eventually you get to 30% like me. And so every time I order, like a shampoo and conditioner with some cleaner and some toothpaste, like this sample box here, it's 133 PV. So I would be earning 30% of 133. If you're at 10%, just switching over to some of these products would also earn you $13 plus your shipping. So about $17 in free oils every single month, which is pretty cool. Like, that's a lot. $17, like 2 of those is like almost a free bottle of On Guard. You know what I mean? Actually, it is a free bottle of On Guard. So it's pretty easy to start getting your free stuff. And you won't see, even if you were buying non-toxic cleaners from maybe Target, or because there's some good brands out there, right? But none of them are giving you free essential oils when you buy them. So it's kind of this like cool little secret thing that we all know about, that I get pretty dang excited about, the free oils that come in your shopping cart. So I love that. I think Oh, congratulations. You just finished week 3 of our wellness education series. You're doing a great job. Thank you for showing up every week. Actually, skincare is not next week. It's the week after that. So next week will be oils for every age, which is fantastic. We're going to cover everything, whether it's for you or someone like from pregnancy to baby delivery to children to adolescents to adults to women transitioning through menopause, men, like everything. Like, it's going to be a very thorough, very helpful class. So really excited to teach that one to you next week. And okay, so for those of you who just wanted to learn about toxin-free living today, we are done. So thank you so much for being on. One thing that Kirsten and I discussed to tack on to the end of the class this evening is, we know that if there's one thing that we have taught you over the last few weeks or maybe few months that you've been with us, it's impossible not to tell somebody about it. Like, you just learned about detoxifying your armpits and about breast cancer and about parabens and things like that. And so, because I know there's so many of you who are healers and who do care about sharing with others, and there's quite a few of you on here who are wanting to share oils, Kirsten and I thought it would be really valuable to help you kind of get a clear picture of what that might look like for you. And so, like I said, if you have to jump off, no worries. We have finished with week 3 content, but if you'd like to stay on with us for the next, I would say probably 15, 20 minutes, we'll just take some time to cover what it looks like to share oils with others and also create some income by doing that. And that's what we do. So
And if you have to go now, you can go check out the ending portion on the recording on another day if you'd still like to hear what we have to say, but you just don't have time now.
Yeah. If your kids are screaming and they're in the bathtub and you got to run, or you're just tired because you're on the East Coast, no worries, but you are welcome to jump off. But we would love to share this with you. One of my mentors, his name is Dr. John C. Maxwell. Maybe you've heard of him. He's written a million books. He taught me something really valuable. He said, Kirsten, I'm going to teach you a lot of what I know, but you have to promise me one thing, that you will be a river, not a reservoir. That everything that I teach you will flow into you and out to other people. We have to share our knowledge and share our passion with others. And so that's what I'm going to do for you today. And I hope that you will also be a reservoir with the knowledge that you're learning about taking better care of your health. All right. So let's jump in. Kirsten, if you want to jump in with 3 ways to share and anything else you have.
Yeah, anybody that is one of my customers or one of my sharers or builders, this is actually how I end most of my classes on Zoom. I say that there are 3 ways to share, right? And we go over a person that wants to live the lifestyle, a person that wants to share, that is naturally a sharer, and a person that wants to build. And so whether you're the first person, the second person, or the third person, all three of you can still share oils, okay? If you're a person that just wants to use oils in your home, with your family, with your children, and learn about them, you can refer to myself or to whoever it is that you work with who signed you up for essential oils, family members, friends that you have that could be interested in learning about essential oils. And that's all that you have to do, right? We can call the person from there, take it and teach them a few things about oils if they're interested, and give you credit or gifts, depending on what we discuss or how someone runs their team, to get free oils for you. And so we come in contact with people every day that we teach about oils, but a little bit of help in finding people that are interested is always appreciated by us. If you're able to enroll extra friends, maybe you're a natural share and you're going to go home and say, you need to detox your armpits, Cheryl. I don't know if there's someone here named Cheryl. And Cheryl's like,
No, it's perfect.
What are you talking about? And you're like, this is what has to happen, right? And then Cheryl's interested and you get a group of friends together. We can teach a class with you, with your friends, right? We can sign these people up and show you how to sign them up so that you're generating income off of the work that you're doing by teaching people what you've learned, right? You don't just learn nothing by accident, learn something by accident. You've been here, you've spent the time listening to this class. You're going to implement some of these things in your home. You're going to learn from it. And that there is work that you're doing that you can share with others as a river that can help you generate income for yourself. The third kind of person I always talk about is a builder, right? And this is someone that is just so passionate about sharing what they're teaching and helping other people to understand how exciting natural healthcare can be, that they can supplement or replace their income. And this can be you, any one of you, whether you work outside the home or don't. We can show you and help you to replace your income or supplement your income by doing what comes naturally, right? Sharing what you know and what you've learned.
Perfect. Thank you. So I want to cover briefly some of the different opportunities for you to create an income. Now, this is how I started 11 years ago. A mom at home, 2 kids, not really having like a big need to like build a big business or anything, but feeling very passionate about how I was able to get rid of my children's ear infections with essential oils. And I just wanted to, again, be a river, like tell everybody about it because it was so exciting. So I spent a few hours a week, like, making a list of a few people that I care about the most and, giving them a presentation, using my friend who was actively teaching classes, just calling, her name's Melina. I'm like, Melina, I have a friend that wants to learn about oils, let's help them. And that's kind of what that looks like. And what happened is I started to actually get all of my healthcare for free every month. So that order that I'm placing every month on my loyalty rewards, I was generating a couple $100s a month, which just paid for my oils. Like, who wants free oils? Like, who wants free healthcare? This is a pretty simple and easy way for everybody to at least get their product paid for. So I think that's pretty cool. You can also jump up to like a premier level. And premier kind of looks like you share oils, and then you also have 2 people that they're pretty excited about sharing oils too, and so together, the 3 of you maybe do a class that one of us teaches for you, or maybe you just do a class that you do on your own, or maybe you just share like Kirsten does on Marco Polo with everyone, right? Like her whole thing is done through Marco Polo, and it's just fun and easy, right? And you've got a couple of sharers that are doing the same thing now, and you're kind of showing them how to maybe post a recipe on social media or have like a little wellness Facebook group or something. And it actually becomes quite easy to generate that premier level with you and a few sharers that are pretty passionate about natural health. So you can also look at setting a goal for a silver income. And you can see here the average is around $2,000 a month. So nobody's mad about that, okay? Nobody is mad about getting an extra $2,000 a month. And what that looks like is you actually stepping into more of a, hey, I think I have 3 sharers that would be pretty excited about doing this. And that's where you have 3 people who just want to spend a few hours a week, and you kind of help them get organized and start to look at having a little team that you can help. So that's what that beginning sharing experience looks like in paying for your product. The next thing is to supplement your income. So supplementing your income looks more like actively building a business, right? So we're looking between $4,000 and $9,000 a month, which is nothing to be mad about. That's like replacing or supplementing income, right? In this experience, you would be spending between 10 and 15 hours a week, right? So this is more like a part-time job at this point. You would spend time enrolling, between maybe four and five customers a month, and also looking for another person who feels like you feel, who not only is passionate about natural wellness, but they also want to generate an income too. So you could help them. And of course, that's what we're here for too, right? Like we help you help others. So you're never going to be alone. I like to say you're in business for yourself, but you're never by yourself. And finally, you can also look at replacing your income. What I have found with most people in doTERRA is not everyone starts here. In fact, most of us, I certainly did not. I'm like, okay, I just want to start as a sharer and really enjoy this process and learn everything I can. And eventually what happens is so many people love it that at least for me, I was kind of forced to redirect my attention here because I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is amazing. I love helping people with their natural health. And this business model is all about serving others. As you serve others, you also serve yourself. And it's a beautiful community that we're building. So as I look to replace my income, I look to help probably between 8 and 10 customers a month, and helping a couple people a month to also become sharers and builders also. So that's just kind of a big picture look at what this business looks like. I have been doing this for 11 years. And like I think I may have mentioned, maybe not in this class, but the first year and a half for me was very much a customer and a sharer. And then once it kind of clicked in for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this all the way. And my husband and I have been actually at this presidential level for 6 years now. And my goal actually is not so much about my presidential level, but it's how many diamonds can I help? And so the people, the coaches on my team, those that I introduce you to, all of us are working towards diamond together. And so that's kind of where my genius lies, is helping people strategize for a business like that. So anyway, so good. There's many ways that you can present, Kirsten. Maybe just if you want to just finish up with some of your favorite ways to present the information. Can't hear you. Unmute.
Sorry, I heard someone scream upstairs. I was afraid they were going to come down. But previous to COVID, I was really excited about all of this. There's an adorable coffee shop downtown that I'm addicted to their cookies. So I would try to get anybody to meet me there. I'm like, will you meet me here? And they're like, yes. But meeting to teach someone a little bit about oils can be very quick and very simple. You'll need minimal things with you, right? Most people carry an oil or a roller in their bag already. So you'll just need to toss a few more in there for them to try. And you can teach someone in several different ways. You can put together a class and have a full 40-minute thing where we teach you the 3 ways to use oils and 3 cool things about oils. You can meet someone at a coffee shop, or I've even taught people on the sideline of soccer games where, depending on how much time we have, I'll maybe sit down with just peppermint and teach them the 3 ways we use oils. It can take as little as, 5 to 10 minutes to give them the first section. And then the next Saturday, when we're at our soccer game, I'll go over the 3 cool things about oils, right? And those are the main parts that we're teaching. The 3 ways we use them, which all of you know them, the 3 cool things about oils, right? And then what the kits are and how that would work, right? Making sure that they know that I'm still going to be here every Saturday for soccer. I'm not going to disappear, and I can continue to help you answer your questions and help you see changes in your body and in your health, right? So you can meet at your house, you can meet at someone else's house. Parks are great if you guys have kids that are playing that are the same age, right? You can just sit there. It says chiropractic office, and I would add dental office because I just signed up my dental hygienist just like 2 weeks ago when we're talking about things. And I'm like, oh, I just put clove on that right there. And she's like, huh, what? And then she was in my next class, right? And so I am not going to parks to scope out moms to sit next to. I'm meeting people that I already know, right? It's people that I come in contact with that I mention my life, and then they end up with a quick sample and they're interested enough to want to learn more. So the process can be very simple.
Beautiful. I love it. I'd love to meet you at the park and talk about oils. That would be amazing. Very cool. Very cool. I think we can probably skip over this. I mean, unless you want to talk about it.
I think
Yeah,
we're good.
I feel good about that. Yeah, hosting a class, the thing is this, it's about sharing, it's about letting me or anyone that's in your leadership team know that you kind of want to share, you know, and then we can customize a way for you to do that best. But like Kirsten said, giving a friend a sample of something that is a big deal for them. This is an opportunity to help more people. And that's really what we do. We tell them 3 cool things about oils. We tell them how to use them, show them the kits at the end. You already said that, Kirsten. That was perfect. So if you want to learn more about training, learn the effective way to build a business, this is actually the process that I have gone through 6 times to create a presidential organization for 6 years. It's actually at dailymentorcalls.com. We also have this information on our website, eoemembers.com. So either way, again, if you want to learn more about building the business, just let us know and we can kind of put together a strategy for you. But those are excellent ways to learn more about the strategy and skills of building a solid wellness business. So in finishing up, here's a quote from one of our executives, one of the owners of doTERRA, who I know very well, Greg Cook. He says, when you share doTERRA products, you bring hope and wellness to the people you love, your community, and ultimately the world. Selling the doTERRA way is about service, one drop at a time and one person at a time. We are serving the world with wellness solutions. Thank you so much for those of you who stayed on. We appreciate you as part of our community, and we are here to serve. So thank you so much and have a beautiful evening. Thanks, Kirsten. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ladies. Thank you so much. So nice to see you all.
Thank you, Kirsten.
Yes.
You too. Have a great evening.
Bye.